Today we have round 3 of the startup, and let's have a quick round of applause as I say their names welcoming back. Adrian, Evan, and Jake. Gentlemen, how are you feeling today? Confident?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
You do realize that at least one of you is going to be eliminated as a mentor today. And the potential, I believe, exists. Evan, you have 3 teams, so it's possible you could crush all 3 of these guys and be last man standing.
But we need to do some side bets, Tom?
Yeah.
Like who stands?
I'd be happy to hear a side bet. Go for it.
Well, I mean, I think that...
Who's going out, Adrian? Come on.
I bet at least one Adrian. I think that's the odds. Odds are best.
I think I'm going to lose my friend Jake.
He's
Wow.
he's going with the odds. I've got one team.
You all are the only source of voting today. So all of the power of who advances to the finals is with you. At the end of the presentations, we will open up a survey monkey that will allow you to vote for your teams. I will make it clear, I know it might be tempting to vote 17 times for your favorite, but I believe this has been set up in such a way where that will not work. So today's teams are challenged with proving real value. Value for customers, including prototype development, testing, pivots, and launch. And the teams are to prove either sales or pre-sales. This is essentially their live demo day. Teams are going to cite feedback from their first-time users, and the startup teams will, again, evidence something real. So when it comes time for you guys to judge after looking at their presentations, please keep that as your highest criteria for who you decide to advance and who you decide to send gently on into the night with their own quiet entrepreneurial endeavors. With that, I would like to introduce our first team. Today, our first team is one of Jake's, and I'm going to say trap note. It's your turn to take the stage.
Hey guys, we're Trap Note. Probably remember from our previous presentations, but we're making the world's first open world virtual reality game for mobile to be used Google Cardboard right here. And we've come a long way since we started. So since last time, we've actually been out and testing our game and selling our game a little bit. And we've done a few things. We were invited to a Gamers for Giving convention, if you guys heard of that, in Yipsy. Like huge convention, thousands of people playing, competing in games, and we were invited there to demo and test our game in front of all these people, and that went really great. We have been working with Mott Children's Hospital still, and have been using them as our primary testing source. We actually had our game played on NBC National News 2 weeks ago, and this was through Mott's, and it was really great, and had a lot of feedback through this. And finally, we actually started a Kickstarter as the biggest test for selling our game to all these people we've built contacts with. And over the past 2 weeks, we've raised $10,000 on this Kickstarter for people who want to buy our game, who want to try our game, and who want to see it become a success. So just so you know, we're wanting to bring open world virtual reality to as many people as possible. And we've had a lot of success so far. We're reaching out to other communities, working with dentistry places, child therapy, schools, and we're making this accessible to anybody. Google Cardboard is becoming really pervasive. This one alone was given out for free to any New York Times subscribers, and Google similarly has been giving them out for free. And we're just using this technology to make this game as widespread as possible. And we need your help to make it there. As you can see, our Kickstarter is up there. If you want to go check it out, any support or traffic really helps us out. And thanks so much for your support.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, it looks like they've made some real progress. The numbers are up there on the board. Can I get some feedback or questions from our mentors?
Well, I'll just start by saying your game's out there in the real world. You're getting people to use it. You're going to the gaming convention. You're getting exposure for it. You're getting money for your team to keep working on it, and it gets better each time we see it. So, congrats on the progress.
Thank you, Jake.
questions from any of the other mentors?
Great job, guys. What's the goal? I can't read it. What's the goal for the Kickstarter?
15,000, so we're 2/3 of the way there. Yeah, it's going great.
Fantastic. When does it end?
In 20 days, so the 20 is the days. And yeah, so that's 1/3 of the way and come 2/3 of the way.
Sweet.
Adrian?
What do you think is fueling this kind of interest with all these different players and the kind of Kickstarter success you've seen so far?
So I mean, you get kind of the Kickstarter enthusiast who's looking to adopt the new technologies, the new trends, and we've seen a few of those. We also have actually been in contact with like MOTS and other organizations who are pledging some because they want to see our game made as best as it can be so they can use it. And we've had a lot of those organizations actually pledge.
Did you get a plug for your Kickstarter in your NBC News piece?
No, they didn't just plug our Kickstarter. They felt that was too, marketing. It was just used as an example of, wow, these kids can get out of the hospital by playing this game, and it's really great.
And what are you going to do with the $15,000?
Our biggest setback right now is art generation and some kind of asset generation for our game. We're all engineers and a writer, so it's not exactly our area of expertise. So we use that for outsourcing the kind of things that we don't want to spend a lot of time doing that we're not the best at.
What do you guys do this summer if you win the startup?
Well, already, regardless of startup, we're staying here all summer to work on this game. It's the only thing we're doing full time. We already figured out all the finances for ourselves, but yeah, the startup will just make it a lot easier and make us be able to do a lot more with it. But we're definitely working on it full time all summer. We're going to make this a reality.
Do you have another game in your heads now for your next one, or would you guys just continue to enhance this?
After this game?
Yeah.
So our plan is to finish this 2 months into the summer. The Kickstarter is done, then we give out the rewards, we finish the game. It's a pretty contained game, but then we're going to extend it to multiplayer, real-time multiplayer VR, and especially for the hospitals, that's a really alluring concept, to have cheap multiplayer VR where you can see your friend and you can't tell which one of you is in the hospital. You're both live interacting with each other, but in that virtual world.
Cool. Very cool.
Great job,
Perfect.
guys.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
Congratulations. Nice progress.
Thanks so much.
I don't know, Jake. You're starting off strong. They look tough.
Do we need to keep going? Or
That's a strong start.
Next up, we have one of Evan's 3 teams. Please welcome Wildfire Media.
Hey everyone, we're Wildfire, and we help businesses market themselves. We've been busy since round 2 running a pilot test with our client Snapsuits, a startup selling custom suits online. They didn't want traditional ads that people ignore. They want content that people actually want to see, like a style advice blog and high-quality photos to share.
We wanted to optimize Snapsuit's content to help them grow even faster. We created software that predicts how fast content spreads by comparing trends in audience behavior. Our technology allows us to optimize content to grow our clients' audience as rapidly as possible.
We started by implementing our algorithm on the Snapsuits Instagram page. As you can see from the spike in the graph above, their engagement grew by over 300% overnight and is still growing.
Our tech can do more than improve photo sharing. Our co-founder, Emily, is going to tell you about the future of Wildfire and the possibilities of this technology.
We want to make marketing more beneficial to both businesses and consumers, so we're going to expand our technology to other platforms and types of content. 50% of businesses use content to advertise, and 76% of those businesses say they need to produce more engaging content. Our technology solves that need, helping companies build traction and accelerate their growth. This wouldn't just benefit fashion companies like Snapsuits. Our software could help consumer tech businesses, the retail industry, and the financial sector. Once we have a market-ready product, our plan is to license it to enterprises so that they can create better content. Wildfire is on a mission to replace traditional advertising. We want to transform the world of advertising from one that's full of annoying, interruptive, irrelevant ads to one where companies create valuable and engaging content that people actually want.
Perfect. Thank you, Wildfire.
Okay.
Evan, it's your team. You get to kick them off.
Yeah, awesome job, guys. Really, really nice progress with this one customer. I mean, clearly you've kind of done a really nice job of going to market, and then once you're kind of in market, figuring out what you're actually providing. And I think you guys have gotten to a nice point where you figured out what your value proposition is and gone from a really kind of content heavy and writing to more of kind of a software and services business, and you're getting out there. What do you guys think in terms of going from Snapsuits to kind of scaling to either in retail or more broadly scaling to a ton of customers pretty quickly?
So we're going to start by competing with groups like MLive Media around Ann Arbor just to get local customers. And from there, we want to roll it out to software as a service at an enterprise level.
That sounds ambitious. Who else has questions?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you started.
So there are a lot of people in ad tech, right? Ad tech is it's not quiet. There's a lot of players in that. What specifically would you say is your value proposition against kind of all these other ad tech companies out there, and just let alone in Southeast Michigan, there are a number.
So their prediction is based on comparing different campaigns, seeing what worked, what didn't work, iterating on that. Ours is based on predicting and actually getting it right the first time. So we're not comparing different campaigns, we're just predicting what's going to work right away. And we prove
So you're not running A/B tests, you're just running one test that you know will work.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, how did your algorithm identify the content that was going to increase the engagement for Snapsuits?
So we look at how well content engaged people relative to content posted right before and after within an account, and then compare the account's growth rate to competing accounts to weight the score.
And you can scale that from Instagram through any kind of social media and any kind of ad space, you think, or is that kind of is that a picture thing?
It's based on simple metrics like likes, shares, number of comments, so it can easily be scaled to other social media.
What's a big customer out there you guys are working on that you're excited about?
What was that?
Are there any big clients you're pitching right now that you're really trying to win, or are you really focused on Snapsuits right now?
Right now we're focused on building out our case study. We just got an offer for another fashion company to do a big event 6 months down the line.
Oh, you did? Okay,
and
cool.
We want to focus more on building the software right now.
Cool. Good
So
deal.
you're not talking to customers?
We're talking to customers more as customer discovery to perfect the software we're building rather than trying to sell a product that's not market ready yet.
That's the Adrian I know, love, and expect.
Very cool.
What do you guys plan to do more specifically? I've heard a lot of high level, not nearly as much specificity as I'd want with the winnings if you win.
So right now we have software that does the analysis, but we don't have software that does the scraping or has an interface, so we need to build out the software, and the winnings could help us do that.
Okay, thank you guys very much. Thanks, Wildfire. Next up is another one of Evan's teams.
And he was
I believe
kind of being a little
this is a team that wants to get inside your head. Please welcome Nerb.
It's coming back.
That wasn't me that did it.
So the purpose of the startup this week was to demonstrate the value proposition of our company. Our company allows people to control devices using only their brain activity. But instead of just showing you a boring slide of our value proposition, I want to show you it in action. Here you'll see our Chief Science Officer, Dr. Xiaoyama, controlling a Lego Mindstorm toy using only her brain activity. And she's able to turn and even wave hello to all of you in the audience. Next is a wheelchair that we programmed and we're controlling in real time using only our brain activity. And what I want you guys to pay particular attention to is the speed and precision of the technology. This is truly transformative tech that you're watching. And last is a full-size Nissan Versa for the Discovery Channel. Sorry. And this is actually an MHAC project that we did here at the University of Michigan where we were rotating Mickey Mouse in a 3D plane. So, as you can see, our technology has limitless applications across many verticals and really has a lot of value wherever we put it. But to demonstrate this, not only did we want to show you a video, but we also did customer discovery and we went out there to actually find customers. Our team traveled over 41,000 miles since we last saw you guys and talked to over 134 people. And we were able to establish some partners right now, for example, Pranky Romic, which makes communication systems for people who have severe disabilities, and Emotive and Nervonics, which are both leaders in the neurotechnology field. In addition, we're under discussion with other companies, for example, Amazon, IBM, and Samsung. And what we're doing to make this value actually happen is we're working with Taft Law to turn these discussions into actual legal terms for us to license our technology to them in the future. So we truly believe that our technology has value, and I feel that we've shown this to you guys today. And with your help, we can change the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Nerb.
How much did Stassi pay you to put his picture up
Yeah, I was
there?
going to say the Tom Chase
What
up
is
shot.
that? All right.
No free advertising.
This is your company.
You want to start? You can start.
No. You start. Your company.
Great job, guys. I think that you guys made a ton of progress. I think this is an extremely exciting technology. It's a hot space. And you've done kind of an amazing job in a short period of time of demonstrating the value that you guys can provide to the market, and you're getting a ton of responses here. And I think also this is something that if you end up going to the market to try to find funding, there's a lot of capital available for this kind of stuff. I think in the short term, you have a lot of work to do in terms of getting a real prototype ready. I think that the capital and from this thing, plus you guys actually getting in a room this summer and working through your business and through some of the challenges will be hugely valuable, and I expect a ton from you guys, so great job.
Thank you.
Good
We're
job.
actually going to be at an accelerator this summer. That's our plan.
Which one?
Well, we haven't heard back from them yet, but we're hoping to hear back from them very soon. And
Is it Wearable World?
Is it what?
Wearable World?
No, it's not Wearable World. It's we applied to Y Combinator, Techstars, Desai, and Rothenberg Ventures, their River Accelerator.
Cool. All right.
Yep.
Great. Good luck.
What if it's not that cap that she's wearing? What if she really just has mind control?
How do we know?
Then I'll be nice. I'll be nice.
I have a similar question.
Go ahead.
What if you're just really distracted? Do you have to be really focused in order to make this work?
You can actually, this is the best part about our technology. It's not an eye tracker, so you don't have to focus on anything, but it's as long as you receive input from the device that you're using, you're still able to control the device, which is really kind of the thing that sets us apart from other tech that's out there.
In all your discovery work, have you guys kind of figured out if you're going to license to certain verticals, build for others? Like, I'm assuming you're still in that sort of discovery process, but what have you learned from that specific revenue model, business model perspective?
Yeah, we found that actually the easiest go-to-market path is to license our technology out. There's a lot of strategic partners, for example, Samsung, that already have a lot of the hardware built in, and we would be helping them kind of build our technology into theirs and then license our actual software.
Is that going to be the dominant model for most, if not all?
That's going to be the dominant model moving forward.
Okay.
However, there is going to be some hardware components that we have to build in as well too.
Okay.
Are you guys looking to just license this as an add-on, or is this like, are you trying to take out Oculus Rift here?
Well, I don't want to say too much, when something's going to get, shot out there, but our big vision is to create the next generation of human interaction. So Oculus is doing that as well too. So they're going to be a player, and we're going to be a player against them in the future as well too.
Your chance to build them up or tear them down. Okay.
Nice work.
Thank
Good
you very
job,
much.
guys.
Next up, it looks like we have, Evan, your final team. It's AuMed. Please welcome AuMed.
Hello, for those of you that don't remember me, my name is Ariana Carley. I am the CEO and co-founder of AuMed. So unfortunately, I don't have a cool or exciting video to show you. I wanted to show you a video about nurses and patients talking about their experiences with patient transfer. But those stories, they take more than a minute. So instead, I'm just going to tell you about everything that AuMed has accomplished. So far, we have letters of intent for our first 15 chairs. That means as soon as we're ready to start selling, we have 15 chairs that have already been accepted to be sold. That's our first $135,000 of revenue. We have lined up follow-ups with over 250 hospitals and nursing homes from Michigan to Ann Arbor. We have lined up user studies where we're actually going to be sending 2 to 4 chairs down to Miami to be in a hospital and watch how they interact with the chairs. We've lined up manufacturers, and on top of all of that, we've taken some pretty classy photos with our prototype, as you can see above. So to date, we've made a lot of progress. We've met with our customers, and we've even gotten some of them to agree to buy our product. And for those reasons, when you're voting today, think not just about the cool effects, but think about companies that are making a difference. And vote for AuMed, and have your vote make a difference. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Questions?
Evan, what wonderful words of wisdom or what insights can you share about this fine team?
I think most of the insights from this team actually come down to Ariana's passion that I've seen for this industry and this product. She's going to continue and do this thing with or without the support of this class, even though I think the support would be wonderful. And I think unlike some of the other teams in this competition, there's very specific things that they need capital for in terms of building out the prototype and getting through some stuff. I've met with a lot of folks from the senior living industry, and folks introduce Ariana to a lot of folks, and every single person is not only impressed, but kind of like, man, how do we get this product into market faster? How do we not only help the elderly, but help the insurance at these hospitals and nursing homes? And you don't get that reception from early stage products typically. And so the market reaction's been great, and you've been great to work with, and I hope you guys support Ariana.
All right, questions, comments from the members?
Thanks, Evan.
You said you've lined up a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What's preventing it from becoming real?
Okay, so right now, the reason it's not becoming real is because to actually manufacture the product, each of our chairs costs about $3,000 to manufacture. And our capital, we've raised just north of $10,000, but don't have enough money to finish the design, production, and manufacturing phase. So over the next couple of months, we're trying to raise more money, but we need at least $12,000 to go through the first step of production to have these prototypes ready to do the FDA process and actually get them to do the user study.
What's the total capital needed to go through the entire process and deliver your alpha product?
Okay. So currently we're using our money right now to do the production. We're in a process of raising $500,000, which will get us to actually not only be in all of these hospitals, but many of the other ones that aren't just letters of intent. Then we're going to be doing another round in 3 years.
As Adrian knows, though, when you have purchase orders from a bunch of hospitals, you can raise capital.
That's why I stopped you, actually, because that's like taking you way further, like, fantastic. I'm actually curious to see,
What's it take to
what,
get to
I mean, you can
135?
get, if with LOIs, and some of these guys are early enough
Yes.
adopters, you'd like to think they'd put a little down.
We've actually thought about going the purchase order route, so we did look into doing purchase orders, and something we've discussed. However, we really want this launch to actually be the best product it can be. So we can manufacture it right now, but we want to go through the validation page, this testing phase, with the full process, which requires slightly more capital than we would get from just doing purchase orders. And we want to be able to market this chair beyond that.
Just so I'm clear, because you mentioned your cost per chair.
Yes.
Is it $135,000 revenue, or is that sales generated from your 15 pre-orders?
So the chair, the sale price of the chair is $9,000, and the cost of the chair is $3,000. So that is the sale price. So if you take those 15 chairs and multiply it by the $9,000, that is your sale price.
Can you find anybody to just prepay for these things? Can you get somebody to pay for 20 of them up front?
We are speaking to some people about doing prepays, but we're also speaking to people about the seed investor route. So we're in a very cross juxtaposition about figuring out which is better for us financially.
Focus on
I would do
revenue
them
first.
both. Yeah, get them both. If you can do that, and you can do it at cost too, you just sell to them at cost and make 20 of them.
There's already
Listen to your coach about purchase orders.
there's already
Yeah.
there's already a bunch of manufacturers and distributors that want to get involved. Though.
Yeah.
So
All
We're
right.
speaking with many.
You woke up all the mentors, so congratulations.
Thank you.
We're at the stop point.
Thank you.
Next up, we have the first of Adrian and Ohmer's teams. Guys, please give a rousing applause for PreDxion.
Hi, guys. So there are over 5 million intensive care unit admissions each year in the United States. These patients alone are responsible for over 50% of our nation's hospitalization costs. 80% of these admissions are driven by underlying immune function, and currently there's no diagnostic tool or aid to allow physicians to measure or monitor their patient's immune response. As a result, our approach to treating these patients is essentially unchanged in over 25 years. When patients present to the intensive care unit in shock and organ failure, we are limited to giving them fluids, drugs to support their blood pressures, or antibiotics when we suspect infection. At PreDxion Bio, our goal is to fundamentally change the way that physicians manage and care for their patients in the intensive care unit. Our technology not only measures a patient's immune response, but it does this at the bedside in less than 30 minutes from a single drop of blood. Quite simply, our value proposition is delivering this valuable information to physicians for the first time in history at the time when they need it most. This technology is not just a science experiment, however. We've actually already used this in a patient. Our first customer was the University of Michigan. About a year ago, we received an FDA emergency use exemption, which allowed us to use our device to measure a patient's immune response in the intensive care unit. Using the information we provided, her physicians appropriately selected a medication that was specifically tailored to address her unique individualized inflammatory profile. So looking forward, PreDxion is really looking to position ourselves to truly transform the way that patients manage and care for their patients in the intensive care unit. Thanks.
Very good. Thanks. Adrian? You want to
the
talk
one thing-
about your team?
Yeah, so one thing that you didn't mention is that you won the Michigan Business Challenge a few weeks ago. So congrats on that in between the last time you presented to us and now. What else have you kind of specifically done? I know there are some partnership talks. I know there's a lot of stuff developing there. I want to make sure that gets highlighted out to this crowd.
Sure. So currently our real focus is continuing our product development. So currently this technology is here at the University of Michigan, but basically to enable us to put this in a clinical trial at multiple hospitals across the United States, we basically need to scale our technology. So that's what we're currently focused on. We've had some funding from the university, about $300,000 to accelerate that process. And basically once that, and we're also in talks currently with some strategic partners, biopharmaceutical companies that would use this technology.
And what's the next, how much more do you need over and above that 300 to get to a, whatever your next important milestone is, FDA or whatever it might be commercially?
Yeah, so I think to get through FDA is going to be about $10 million in capital. I think our next milestone to probably make kind of that next look at that next value inflection is an addition, basically to add additional automated capabilities to the technology. So truly, physician takes a drop of blood from their patient, puts it on the cartridge, and you get a readout.
And what's that money? What's that capital to get to that point?
$3 to $4 million.
What drugs would you be prescribing in higher volume if you had these tests happening all the time?
Yeah, so it's a class of medicines that are called immunomodulators. So these are drugs that you can use to either increase or decrease kind of a patient's and kind of immune activity, and that would be driven. Those clinical decisions are driven by the information from.
And have you been in
device.
contact, I imagine, with the manufacturers of those drugs?
Yeah, that's the strategic partners that we're under
That's
NDA
the source.
with.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
And you're under NDA, so you can't tell us who they are. Yes. Okay.
I don't need to know.
Yeah, I know, but I want to know.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You?
No, go for it.
Oh, all right. Lost my train of thought. Good, thank you.
How about from a results standpoint? I mean, comparing back to either what's going on now or comparing to, the how much better is it than the existing state?
Yeah, so existing, so today, if you go into the ICU, you can measure these molecules, but they're send-out tests. So it's about 5 to 7 days. So they're just not used because your patient's either dead or not in 5 days.
And this is a 30 minute.
30 minutes, yeah.
Did you just say your patients are either dead or not?
I
In
did.
ICU,
Okay.
yeah.
Typically,
There's
that's
only two outcomes.
And the universities are already taking the lead on the IP. You feel good about where the IP portfolio is going and that footprint right now?
Yeah, so the IP, our PCT application was just submitted, and so we're, as we continue to develop the technology, we're going to file some more provisional patents, but we're kind of, for now, we're good.
You feel pretty good? Okay.
Mhm.
Right. Good.
Okay.
Good job.
Thank you very much, PreDxion. Adrian has another team in the hunt. Let's please welcome Blitz.
Don't let the worry of buying and selling tickets get in the way of making great memories. We're Blitz, and we've made it easy for you all to buy and sell last-minute tickets on game day. So it's a Saturday morning before the Ohio State football game, and I'm at a tailgate with my friends up on Hill. I decided last minute that I didn't want to go to the game and I'd rather stay with my friends. While I'd like to sell my ticket, I didn't want to waste an hour of my time looking for people, scrolling through my phone on Facebook for someone that would buy a ticket. So what we did, so I didn't want to waste a whole hour of my time looking for people that would buy a ticket. So what we did is we looked back during the fall and we did a ton of research during the football season, and we found that actually a ton of people are in the same exact boat. Many of you and thousands of other UM students have the same exact problem of buying and selling tickets on game day. During our process of validation of our search during football season, we found that 17% of students actually decide not to go to the game last minute. Of these 17% of people, half of them can't sell their ticket and the tickets go to waste.
Awesome, guys. So we're working also with the athletics department to make this the official University of Michigan platform for buying and selling last-minute student football tickets. Thank you guys very much for listening. We hope this is a product that you guys are going to enjoy and use in this next football season.
Sitting at home
and please
for a
vote for Blitz.
last-minute ticket to the game. I would search through Facebook for a ticket, but last week I spent an hour messaging people and had to walk down to the golf course just to pick it up. Instead, I opened Blitz.
Guys, I'm afraid I have to stop you, but I think someone's going to look for a ticket online, would be my guess.
That's okay. This is the app that we're building. We hope you guys will use it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Blitz. Don't go anywhere. Stay for feedback. Adrian, you get to start. It's your team.
Yeah, good job. I know you're nervous, but I'm happy that you are able to present today. One of the things I really want to highlight for the crowd is kind of where you guys started to where you are now, and that validation process has been wildly significant. So you guys have taken a lot of good feedback, and I've enjoyed seeing that growth. What I want to ask is kind of what actually is the real validation you've done? Because you've done real validation, and I want to make sure that that message gets out there.
Sounds like he's trying to help you.
Sorry?
Sounds like he's trying to help you.
So we've talked with over 200 people, students like you guys, and we've gotten 600 data points on what people actually want throughout the process of developing this app and also during the last football seasons. We figured out exactly the features that people want, such as a map-based system for finding people who are nearby. So if you're at a tailgate and you don't want to go to the game anymore, you can find someone right nearby you who wants to buy a ticket, or if you're looking to buy a ticket, you can find someone on the same block who has a ticket for sale. And we've gone to students and said that's the main thing they want, is this map. And that's the biggest validation that we've done, and we put it in their hands is the first thing they go to.
And you've also heard from customers that, had you guys been online during the NCAA tournaments, it's that kind of that losing team wants to rid their ticket immediately for that next.
Exactly.
Do you want to just stand up there with them?
Yeah, I was going to say.
I will. If it gets me to win.
Will somebody get Adrian Ohmer a startup t-shirt, please?
Is this a working app? I mean, have you gotten this?
So this is our mock-up right now. We're developing the actual thing now so we can launch in the 2016 football season. So we'll be launching for the next football season, so when you guys need to get a ticket at the last minute or offload it, we're the person you come to as the official University of Michigan platform.
Where are you in your discussions with the University of Michigan as your first key customer?
So the biggest hurdle they're having right now is with the new athletic director coming in. We have to talk with him once he actually gets his place. But everyone in the ticket office is totally on board. They love the idea. Their main goal is to get as many people in the stadium as possible, and we're helping them achieve that.
Say that to the camera, and we'll send him the video.
Did you guys get a chance to sort of test this purely manually during basketball season, right? So try to put out a bunch of things to different student groups and things like this, just to see if it actually works,
Yeah, so we talked with a lot of students. We didn't actually get a product out or try and distribute tickets. We did a lot of distributing during the football season this past season. So we go out by hand and talk with people, go on Facebook pages, buy tickets, sell them, and figure out how the actual interaction works. So we modeled Facebook, for example, is the biggest platform that people use right now. And we figured out exactly how that marketplace works, and we built off of that to make something that's more effective.
Do you have to sell them for face?
Sorry?
Do you have to sell them for face value, or can you have it be a real marketplace where the second before Ohio State, Michigan,
Well, the goal is to make it a real marketplace so that you can sell it for whatever you believe the value is.
I think it's smart. It's simple. I don't think there's a user experience like this for buying last-minute tickets. It'll be a question of how big of a market is it really, but you're different than the other platforms out there. I think you're better suited for this kind of use, so nice work.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Guys.
Thank you, Blitz.
Thanks, guys, and go Blitz.
So Adrian is our reigning champ. His two teams come out. Final, first up, we have Woodside Distributors. Let's welcome Woodside Distributors.
All right, so raise your hands if you've ever bought a product on Amazon. Awesome, I like to see that. So according to Bloomreach, 44% of online shoppers start on Amazon. Now, a big problem that consumers like you and me face in the online marketplace is finding ways to buy affordable items at low prices. So one thing that Woodside Distributors doesn't have is a flashy app or like a new invention that's going to change the e-commerce industry, but we do offer our low prices on top-rated products on Amazon.
Now, how do we do that? We contact companies that make products that you're already buying. After analyzing profitability, we then list those products or buy those products at wholesale quantities for low prices. Finally, we add value to brands by improving their product listings on Amazon and then shipping to the consumer. This is our sales process. Straightforward, but effective. We, your third-party seller, use data-driven analytics coupled with industry-proven software to offer 2-day shipping, a low price, and a 99.9% customer satisfaction rate.
Our model is simple and proven. Buy low, sell low. Last year, we topped $2 million of revenue doing exactly that. We have history. We ran the numbers behind what the $15,000 grand prize would do for our business. That prize allows us to hire 2 additional University of Michigan students. 2 students can manage 5 brands. When I say manage a brand, I'm talking about product selection, restocking inventory, and managing the supplier relationships. Let's do some math. With each brand, and we currently have data to support this, we do $100,000 annually. Adding 5 brands is $500,000. With $15,000 prize from this competition, we can hire maybe 2 of you to help us grow by $500,000 a year.
There's some of our members already in the audience here. Just imagine as we scale by hiring more. Thank you.
Thank you, Woodside. Oh, Adrian Fortino, please tell us what you love about Woodside Distributors.
And we actually have some of our staff here, so if you're a Woodside member, can you please stand up real quick? Thanks for coming out and supporting us.
Great job, guys. All right, I don't know anybody, I haven't seen anybody do a use of funds like this, right? This is fantastic.
That wasn't
work.
the challenge, though.
Right,
Let's clarify the challenge.
These guys are taking their business seriously, and I applaud you guys. These guys, this is not, I mean, they're focused on it. They are building a Woodside army for the summer, right? So I don't know anybody else that's doing a now $2.5 million run rate, probably closing up on $5 million toward the end of the year, right? Which is just fantastic.
Oh,
right?
snap.
It is a real business that you guys are building. What I'd like you guys to talk about a little bit more is where you're building more scale inside the data-driven packaging pieces of it.
Awesome, and so to talk about that a little bit more, I'm going to take you inside of our meetings a little bit. So Woodside and Adrian have met multiple times, and in it, the topic of discussion usually is around technology. Right now, we're choosing to scale through labor. Thanks, guys in the crowd. But we see that with technology, instead of 2 people being able to manage 5 brands, as we're suggesting here, what if they could manage 7 or 8? That really increases our scale while maintaining that same amount of labor, and technology is the enabling force. So we're going to be working with Adrian in the future to see what tech we can bring into Woodside to help us grow.
And you guys did a great job, and anything I'm giving you guys a hard time about, it's about your coach. No, but why doesn't the 15,000 fuel a tech build as opposed to 2 new labor?
And that was our conversation with Adrian. And what we talked about is this is a real business. If you're really going to develop technology, we're talking about the hundreds of thousands of real tech development that we're going to need. And so 15,000 doesn't get us a proposal.
Does it get you an intern that knows what they're doing?
We've actually already hired those interns, and we have one that's a computer science major, as well as Mitch, who's minoring in computer science, so we've got that staff.
It's important to distinguish that they have a little skunkworks team working on some software build, but it is the more near-term opportunity is to just push into their funnel now.
Adrian, are you thinking of applying?
No.
I am.
What's the current profitability? What are gross margins and how much you guys making at the end of the day?
So while we'd love to make 20 to 30%, if we can make half of that, it's a great day. So we're
15% gross.
We're under.
Are you guys paying yourselves?
Yeah, everyone gets paid, and the entire staff is paid.
So overall cash flow is
profitable.
Positive.
Why not just pour back in 15? I mean, why do you need the capital?
So we are, and we've talked to Adrian about growing, and we've hired 8 new students. So there are 12 students working on this for this summer and already, and we want to grow additionally to what the research.
If you stop paying yourself, you can throw more capital back into the business.
Well, just to be clear, because that's the right question, and it's easy. You got a big revenue number there, but I think you're saying 15% gross margin, right?
No. We actually run about 30% gross margin on most of our products.
Oh, 30%. So average of the $2 million, so you have about $600,000. How much do you have in gross margin on the $2 million?
So yeah, so on the $2 million, we have about $600,000 of gross margin.
And I have to call stop on that, but congratulations to a team that has real revenue that everyone can fight over.
Thank you for your time.
Batting cleanup today is Adrian Fortino's second team.
That's what I mean.
You loved him in rounds 1 and 2. Let's give a warm welcome to Argo.
Hey guys, I'm Andrea and I'm one of the co-founders of Argo. For those of you just tuning in, Argo is a service at the University of Michigan that sets students up on blind friend dates. So we introduce you to someone new. We cut all of the curated profiles and the romantic precedents, and we just say, you should meet up on Friday for some coffee with somebody you'll probably never get a chance to meet otherwise. So far, we've sent out 80 friend dates, about 120 students, many of whom are actually in this class. But for those of you who haven't been on an Argo date yet, we wanted to give you an idea of what it might look like to go. So we made a video of some students who've been on Argo dates already and wanted to talk about it.
It is such a struggle, really, to not be able to get to know all these people on campus.
Even though I meet a lot of people, like I really enjoy talking to people and connecting with new people.
Just the excitement of meeting somebody new and not having any expectation for it at all.
We made eye contact and it was like the shaky smile. Like, are you here to meet someone?
I feel like all of my Argos have gotten real deep, real fast.
When I put value on talking to others and pushing boundaries like that and making myself a little uncomfortable, that I have huge, great results.
Just because you don't know somebody doesn't mean that, you can't have a connection with them in any way.
So if you're interested in signing up, we have another round, and it's open today, and it'll happen next Friday. So visit argofrienddate.com if you'd like to get involved.
That was loud, sorry.
Okay.
A little sabotage there, Jake.
Mic'd up.
King Fortino, what should we know about Argo's progress?
Great job! Fantastic. Okay, so I think this is the most interesting social experiment that I've seen, right? This is fantastic. You don't ask anything of anyone. You just say, do you want to meet someone? It's so exciting. So exciting.
And how many Argo dates have you been on?
I haven't been invited because I'm too old, right? So why don't you tell us a little bit more about the feedback you're getting and probably even more importantly, where this expands to. You're doing it just on Fridays, right? How does it become a much more expansive and impactful platform as you build?
Totally. We've been getting tons and tons of good feedback, which is why we built this web app to make it easier in the first place, so we could sort of bring on more people. But this summer, we're planning on building an actual mobile application so people can sign up for an Argo date anytime they want, and they'll go that day. So as we get into the summer and we do testing with students who are here in the summer, but their friend groups are probably mostly at home, it'll be easier for us to start some testing and make that process a little easier.
And one quick thing. These guys are not afraid to go out and actually, do something, manually and make things happen, make collisions happen. They're not, hiding behind, I got to get my product ready. No, they're just doing it, right? They'll build the product around what the feedback is.
As are all of our teams, too.
I'm just saying. Wow.
just throwing that out there.
How many total people have interacted or gone? How many dates?
Yeah, so far we've done we've basically done 83 dates so far that have gone, but we've had students, obviously repeating dates within that.
Yeah, how do the repeats? How's that going on? What have you seen so far?
Yeah, no, so we're seeing I'm trying to think of the margins of the repeats. We're probably seeing 20 or 25 people who are going every single round, but there's obviously some variability in it because of availability. It happens only on Fridays, so some people can come certain Fridays and not others, but yeah.
Okay, we're going to have to wrap it there so we have time to vote, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
So,
great job.
You guys,
Awesome video. Cool video.
you guys have an incredibly difficult decision because all 8 of your teams, I think, are making amazing progress. You all have to select the top three. And I'm going to assume that I have a commitment from my 4 mentors that regardless of how this round finishes up, you all are going to continue to work with these 8 teams. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Awesome. Thank you. Let me go check on the voting, everybody. In no particular order, our 3 teams advancing to the finals are Woodside Distributors, AOE Medical, and Nerb. Congratulations, everybody. Have a good weekend, you guys.
The play here, and so
we saw two major demographics when we were talking to people that were really attracted to this. One was the 20 to 30, and the other was an older demographic that makes more money. And we thought the 20 to 30 have fewer options to choose from because of their lower economic
You're running out of time, Adrian.
Great.
If you've got
Okay.
questions for Wage Pit.
Got it.
Put it in their apartment building.
Wage Pit